Hi guys, it's Mrs. Hartley here to talk to you about sophomore year scheduling, class of 2025. I want to start by talking about some restructuring in the high school counseling office. So instead of your counselor being based just on your grade, you now will have a counselor based on what your last name is. So if your last name starts with A through F, Mrs. Lyden will be your counselor. If your last name starts with G through M, I will be your counselor, Mrs. Hartley. And last names N through Z will have Mrs. Dolezal as their counselor. An important document that you want to use often and is available to you from anywhere is our course selection guide. In the course selection guide, any questions you have about graduation requirements, honors, diploma, which classes learn what things, what class do I need before I can take that class, everything is listed there in the course selection guide. So a lot of times when students have questions, we'll point you in that direction. So you want to be familiar with that particular document. Another tool we want you to be able to use is the planning worksheet. The planning worksheet is linked here, and it will help you figure out which classes you need and do you have enough of the classes, and to remind you to add alternate classes. So it's just an organizational tool that will help you through the scheduling process. And this is the first time I'll kind of say this date, but all of your selections need to be in online, and we'll give you more information on that later, by February 18th. The course selection worksheet is also available as a tool to use. This is probably the one that you've seen before when we were choosing classes last year. It shows all of your courses in one place. It shows them by department. It tells you how many semesters they are, if they're one semester or two. And from there, you want to make sure that you choose your different classes that you want, and then you want to count up those semesters on the right hand side. They should equal to 14 when you're all finished. 14 would be 7 bells times 2 semesters, so you want that number to equal 14 when you're finished. Now the red circle over there on the right hand side is to show that you need to add alternate courses also. Alternate courses are important in case something doesn't fit into your schedule. Here, and we'll reference this again later, but Mrs. Emmons has made a video on how to use the scheduling worksheet, and it takes you step by step. So that might be a resource that you use going forward. So required courses for 10th grade, the things that we require you to take without a choice, really. You need to take an English class. You can take CP or honors English. That should be something you talk to your teachers about. All of this, where your placement should be, is a discussion that you want to have with your current teachers and that they will have with you. In science, you need to either take CP physical science, or you can take CP or honors chemistry. Math, there's a flow chart of the math department has made a flow chart to show you where do you go next after whatever you're taking. And I'll show you that on the next slide. But you need to take a math course as a sophomore. It could be geometry. It might be algebra 2. Could be advanced quantitative reasoning, data science. And then in some cases, some of you might be to the level of pre-calc. When you're choosing the level of a course, like I said, it's important that you talk to your teacher. They're the experts on guiding you in that. But you also want to take into account how you're doing in your current classes, how much you want to challenge yourself, and you want to have some sort of challenge in there. But you also want to have a balance. Just because you can take all the honors courses, maybe that doesn't make sense for you because you also play 2 sports, or you are involved in extracurricular activities or clubs, and you have to have time to dedicate to all of those things. Here is the math curriculum flow chart. It's also linked here so you can look at it closer, but you can just follow your own track through the math courses, and it'll show you kind of what comes next, and that can help you plan for your next math course next year. Humanities is a course that is offered to sophomores, and it is unique in that it connects your literature, social studies, and art. connected on global issues. So you will earn a credit of English 10, a credit of social studies, and a half of a fine art, and they're all kind of lumped together. So it will take place in 2 class bells every day. So you need to count those as 2 class bells. And also it is CP English 10. It is not honors English 10. If you have questions before you choose that, Mrs. Nicholas is in the high school is in charge of Humanities, and you can reach out to her or check out the course selection guide. You can see what they have to say about that Humanities course. AP level courses, college level courses that are preparing you for an exam at the end of the semester that could potentially earn you college credit. But we want you to remember when you're signing up for an AP course is that you need to prepare for an increased workload. And sort of like we talked about a couple slides ago, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Um, Individually, it's possible that you could take every AP course, but put together, do you have the time to dedicate to it? So you just want to remember that balance. And especially if you haven't taken an AP course before, it's good to think about or start with maybe one or, maybe two, depending on you as a learner, but to find that balance. You should take AP level courses in those areas that you enjoy because it is an extra workload. So you want it to be something that you do like to do. And remember that colleges aren't just looking for a kid to have all of the AP courses, but to be well-rounded. So there's that balance again between a challenge and the other things you do in your life. February 4th, Mrs. Emmons put the AP presentation available online. And by February 19th, we ask that if you're going to participate in an AP course, that you and a parent sign the AP memorandum. Again, the AP memorandum is just so that everybody's on the same page about the extra workload and that you're committing to that extra college level course. Other required courses that you have sophomore year. If you haven't already done health, it's possible that you have already done it or are currently doing it. You can get health through summer school, or it is an Apex course during the school year. You just do want to put that on your sheet as something you need for next year. Even if you don't want to count it towards your 14 semesters because it's online, but you do need to request it. You do need PE. You can take 2 semesters of PE or complete a PE waiver. And a new thing this year, which might benefit some of you, is that you can combine the waiver and a PE class. So you can either have 2 seasons of a sport, that would be a full PE waiver, or you can have 1 PE class and 1 season of a sport. So say you played soccer in the fall, and when you were a freshman, you took 1 PE class. That now will count as your full PE credit. It didn't used to. You didn't used to be able to combine them. So you have that possibility of doing it that way also. You have to, if you're going to have a waiver, like you're not taking 2 PE classes, but you're waiving it with a sport, you need to have that done by the end of your junior year. Otherwise, we need to put you in PE classes. The other way you can get PE is if you have 2 full years of the JRTC course, you also could you will be eligible for the waiver. When you complete your sport, you need to fill out a PE waiver in the counseling office. PE can also be taken in summer school. Sometimes people choose to do that for a quarter of a credit. In the spring, we'll get more information out to you about that. So you would need to potentially take it 2 summers to fulfill that PE requirement. Lots of elective courses and so many more options are available to you as sophomores. It's not just things we're making you do. You're starting to get to choose at least a couple of things that are interesting to you. So this is a great way to explore your interests for careers and majors, things like engineering, business, teaching, finance, some of the computers. Those are things you want to choose that you enjoy so that you can explore your options going forward. There are some quarter electives that weren't available to you as freshmen. They are for 1 quarter only, and they're a quarter credit, but you have to pick them in multiples of 2 so that you get 2 quarters. So you must put 2 together. 2 classes equal a full semester's worth of classes. And you also want to make sure that you add alternates in case those 2 don't fit together. Again, we talked a little bit about alternates, but why are alternates important? Because sometimes even if you want all of a certain number of classes and they add up to 14, they might not be offered in the bells that fit with your schedule. So a lot of times we do have to choose from your alternates. If we're in the summer and we're doing schedules and you don't have any alternates, then we have to pick the alternates for you based on what works. So we want you to pick things that you would want to take in case other things don't work. You'll notice we ask for 3 alternate semesters, 2 alternate quarter electives if you choose any quarter electives. Important dates for scheduling coming up. February 10th, counselors are going to come around and visit advisories. So you can ask us questions if there's anything that you've been wondering about. Also, online scheduling opens. We'll give you more information about that soon. Also on February 10th in the evening, in the late afternoon, the counselors will be in the library from 3 to 6:30, and your parents can drop in and you with them, and you can ask us questions about scheduling. February 16th, we have individual conferences. So if you and a parent would like to come in the evening and have a one-on-one conference, we'll have signups available for that, 3 to 6:30 on February 16th. February 18th is the deadline for your courses to be entered online. We also, if you're taking AP classes, we want your AP memos to be which will be a Google form. And then March 1st through 10th. So if you're still wondering if you picked the right things, do you have the right things? March 1st through 10th, your counselor for next year will meet with you one-on-one in a short meeting, but you can ask all of those questions then also. So we'll check through your transcript. We'll make sure you have all of your required courses. We'll ask you about electives. So it's sort of a double check to the things that you've done. So if you're worried if you did it right, or if it looks okay, or if you have the things you need, March 1st through 10th through your English classes, you'll get to meet one-on-one with your counselor. As I said earlier, Mrs. Emmons, there's a video linked. Mrs. Emmons goes through if you need kind of a step-by-step on how to use the course selection worksheet. You want to make sure you're doing it the right way, you're counting the right way. This is a great step-by-step, and I encourage you to take advantage of that. Again, just a reminder, there's lots of tools that are linked here. Your course selection worksheet, the planning worksheet for those of you who like to have, a pen and paper and see in front of you. You can print that out, or you can do that in the Google form. And then, of course, questions. You can ask us questions during advisory, study hall. We'll be at those 2 conferences. You can always email us. So we're available to help you if you still have questions going forward. And remember, we'll have those one-on-ones in March to just look at your transcript and look and make sure you're on track. So hopefully this has been informative for you. Hopefully this gets you started on the scheduling process for sophomore year. And we will see you soon, meet one-on-one, and hopefully answer all the questions you have from there. Thanks for your time.